Time's 98 win over the Minnesota Lynx, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever were dealt the first loss since the Olympic break. However, Clark made it in the headlines for more than her dunks, as she had to go through much officiating controversy that angered the fans. Now that we are ready for the drama, just a friendly reminder, hit a like on the video as well as the subscribe button if you want more of such contents regarding sports. Now get back to the game before I have to come up with something much more severe. However, the shocker in this game means that the season series of the Fever and Lynx is tied at 1-1. Former Iowa star Clark once again had another decent performance of 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists. However, her numbers did not justify the hype. It was actually the controversy over the officiating that gave fans a feeling that Clark was treated specially. Of all the 3 outrageous calls that prompted a lot of stir and controversy as to whether Sandy was being partial, 3 were most memorable. The first one occurred with 3:41 remaining in the second quarter when Clark was charged with an offense foul that occurred after she had pushed Lynx guard Kayla McBride onto the ground. Fans were split. Some thought McBride had been wrong to have flopped, while others thought the same about Clark, who had been deemed to have been held before a foul. Fast forward to third quarter, 6:40 remaining, when McBride tried to block one of Clark's 3-point shots. Clark landed on the ground. However, the referee, who was right beside the developing play, did not call for the foul. This no call angered supporters some of, who claimed that Clark was here trying to kick, while others called it a clear and deserving foul. Finally, in less of a minute to the third quarter, Clark was called for what the fans considered a phantom travel violation. A particularly check of what appeared to have been a legal change in direction of play was a call that the fans deemed to be unfair, and which came as a result of a minor shuffle of her feet, which attracted the attention of the official to call for the foul that fans disliked. However, the Lynx were involved in some controversy throughout the course of the game, having taken the lead right through the final 37 minutes of the game. However, poor refs in the match only played to the Fever detriment, since the Lynx played to the best of their abilities. Despite Clark's performance, the Fever lost the game and dropped their record to 13-16, while the Lynx cemented their playoff position as they moved to 22-7. This game caused a lot of controversy, and discussions regarding Clark's treatment during the match on the court only become more active. Ignoring the fact that such calls are subjective and therefore not official enough to be taken into account in explaining Fever's win, the supporters of the team pointed out that the 2 questionable calls definitely contributed to the win by causing Clark to lose her flow. Some of these include Clark's foul, which the Fever fans argue shifted the game in the favor of the Lynx at some key moment that disrupted the fluency of the game for Indiana and restricted Clark. The fans of the opinion that the refs were making it their agenda to frustrate Clark and denying her usual attempts to single-handedly decide the match. The WNBA can't continue getting away with this has become the veritable motto of disillusioned basketball enthusiasts, who feel that the game is being rigged or poorly officiated, and that such is killing the spirit of the WNBA, especially when playing top-caliber athletes like Clark. The game also marked continued questions about parity in the officials' treatment in WNBA, as Clark remains one of the highly talented players in the WNBA. Ordinary fans and players are insisting on coordination in order to maintain fairness and disclose information in the game. If the WNBA does not address these issues, then the league will potentially turn off its newfound demographic and stunt the talent it seeks to promote. Still, one problematic issue is that officials, consciously or unconsciously, might be focusing a special attention on Clark because she is promoted rather quickly. She is a force to reckon with on the basketball floor, hence receives the wrath of the other team's defense formations and, to some, even that of the referees. On reading Clark's numbers and her accomplishments, it only deepens everyone's doubt that she is being targeted by officials for being a mere woman. In sports, especially professional sports, then it should be merit that determines the fate of a player, not biased or bias and capricious refereeing. If we think that any other player, not to mention Clark and other top players, are being targeted unfairly, then the question of fairness and credibility of WNBA arises. It should be comforting to players that their performance will be evaluated based on the talent they bring to the field, not the whistles from an unpredictable referee. At this juncture in the growth of this new league, it cannot afford to be anything but fair and open. The readers wish to witness talented players perform and matches to be won through ability and not by referees' decisions. While Caitlin Clark is further writing her history, it is the league's responsibility to make sure that they are winning games not influenced by unfair calls on the court. Nevertheless, failure to address these issues threatens the WNBA's hard-earned gains and harms its image. The ability or referee to ensure that he is fair in his decisions is critical to avoid creating rival teams between the fans and the rest of the players. The league also needs to step up to the challenge and make sure that players such as Clark does not get restricted in any way. Thus, it comes as no surprise that as the WNBA matures, it must also become more transparent and for its books to be squeaky clean. If the league lets such disparities remain unnoticed, it risks deterring talents from the game and losing its diehard fans. For now, everyone is waiting for Caitlin Clark's further performances to continue her domination, but attention is also being paid to the referees, as both the match and the players' deserved assessment has been discussed lately. Do not forget to like and subscribe to receive more videos on Caitlin Clark, as well as all your favorite WNBA matches.